And now again, our pleasure, as always, when we get an opportunity to talk with the head coach of the Franklin County Rebels, Mac McCurry. It's always a pleasure. And Coach, today is a celebration of not just Franklin County High School athletics and Franklin County Rebel football, but it's a celebration of Franklin County High School as a whole, because you have to have a complete student athlete, and I mean student before athlete, for the three men that we got to talk to earlier, Jairus Johnson, Cam Yarlett, Tyreek Norwood. Really all the kids are assigned. You have to be a complete student athlete to get this opportunity. Exactly, and I couldn't agree with you more, Will. And I've got to say how proud I am for those young men and also for those families. And those families, the teachers here and coaches have tried hard over the years, I'm sure, but those families and parents and everything are the ones that need to be commended for certain. And I really think all three, and we talked about it with them, are a great example of if you keep your nose to the grindstone, good things happen. And we saw that because Cam and Jairus, leaders throughout the different incarnations of Rebel football with the various coaching situations that they dealt with during their high school career. But I just want to focus on Mr. Norwood for a second, because he's a great example of if you just keep showing up, doing your job, eventually you're going to catch a break and good things happen. Because he's a guy who really didn't show out on the game level till later on in his career, but he made the most of his opportunity, and now he gets to move on to the next level. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I know you were at the football banquet where I basically relayed to people what he told me just before the football banquet, was that everybody had always told him he was too skinny, too thin to play football, and here he is getting a full scholarship. Let's talk about Jairus Johnson for a minute. Everybody knows the accolades, the yards, the touchdowns. He's the career rushing touchdown record holder, which you got to do something special to break a record that stood as long as that did here at Franklin County High School, 40 years. But off the field, even better kid, great student, and really excited to be able to see this young man not only again continue his education at a great school like UT Martin, but to practice his trade on the football field at a Division I level. That's something really, really special. It is special, and again, kudos to his parents, because anybody that winds up being as good a young man as Jairus is, it comes from home. We coaches can't take much credit for that. And then, you know, nothing against the other two, but I gotta admit, if I got a favorite football player from the season last year, it was Cam Yarlett. Because if you needed a play made, if y'all said y'all needed X number of yards, I felt like you could say, okay, Cam, we're going to give you the football, and he's going to fight like heck. And if they need 5.5 and he only gets 5 2/4, you can go to bed at night knowing he fought as hard as he could to get those 5 1/4 yards. You remember from the football banquet what senior award he got? You know, we do a character award, and that's the 300 award for, you know, after the movie 300, and basically about 300 guys who fought thousands of Persians and held them off, and he's got that kind of spirit. He's a fighter. When you said fight, that's a word that you'd certainly associate with Cameron Yarlett in a positive way. In a positive way, yes. One more athlete I want to touch on, and got to speak to him earlier on the program. Member of your team, he'll be continuing his athletic and collegiate endeavors on the baseball field, but excited for Caden Sons to get to go be a pitcher out at Rome State. Another good kid. Exactly. Big play man for football, and certainly is going to be
has been and going to be the case in baseball as well. We're proud of Caden for that.
And finally, Coach, we couldn't do an interview properly if we didn't look towards the future for Rebel football. Those 4 young men we spoke about were part of a unit in 2017 that laid a solid foundation. Going to be some youth in 2018, but you got to be excited about the direction that the Rebels are heading on the gridiron.
We are, and we thank those seniors for laying that foundation, and I think every one of them would tell you that it's their honor to have done so. They know that the guys in the future are going to win a bunch of ball games, but they also know who laid that foundation. And yes, next year, Will, we're going to be young. We'll be probably starting about 5 sophomores, maybe 6. There's no adage in football when you're playing in the larger classifications. For every sophomore you start, you're going to have a loss. Well, we started 5 this past year, and we'll probably start at least 4 or 5 this coming year. But the year after that, there won't be a whole lot of sophomores starting, maybe 1. So hope that certainly works out.
So Region 5-5A, get your licks on the Rebels while you can.
Well, that's that would be. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to let you say that.
I'll say it for you.
I've got buddies at these other schools that would be glad to save that and show it before their ball games. So I'll say we're going to be okay next year, and then we're going to be probably better than okay, I think, the next year.
All right, Coach McCurry, it's a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And we'll take a break. More National Signing Day 2018 coverage to come here on WCDT at FCHS Productions.